Hi, I'm Steven van Dijk and I'm a contributor to the NuPattern project. I'm going to give an introduction to NuPattern and show the kind of problems that it solves. It should give you a good idea about what NuPattern can mean for you. NuPattern is meant for dealing with patterns in software construction. It provides tooling to model such patterns and create an extension that enhances Visual Studio to build software using those patterns. Let's take a look at a simple example. Here we have a solution that contains two projects. The first project contains application code, and the second project contains unit tests. Both projects use a number of NuGet packages. The application code uses these 4 packages, and the unit testing project uses these. Note that the code class is accompanied by a corresponding file in the unit testing project. So we have a simple pattern here. Each application code project should be of this form, and it should be accompanied by a unit test project. Note the naming convention that it should adhere to. The project is called project conforming to best practices, and the unit test project has .test appended to it. The same applies to the code files in the unit test code file. If we were to create more project or code files, we would have to apply this pattern by hand. Now we'll open the Solution Builder tab here, which is how NuPattern enhances Visual Studio. As you can see, we have a model of the pattern we just described. I can add a new project. I'll name it Demo. And as you can see, a code project and a unit test project is created in the Solution Explorer. It contains the NuGet packages we want. And actually, it's just an exported project template. But NuPattern allows you to do much more. Now we'll create a code file. And I will name the code file example file. As you might expect, there's now an example file.cs in the demo project, but there's also an example file tests in the unit testing project. Note that both files adhere to the naming convention. So how did we create this tooling? For that we have to switch to the NuPattern designer. Here you see how we modeled the pattern in NuPattern. It has a similar structure to what we saw in the Solution Builder. Let's review some of the elements of the pattern to see how they were implemented. How do we create a combination of a code project and a test project? You can see here that there is a one-to-one relationship between a project element and a code project element. The same is true for the test project element. Therefore, when we create a project element, the code project element and test project element are automatically created. To the code project element and the test project element, we added some automation. We added a command and an event launch point. There are several types of automation. Commands specify what you want to happen, whereas events specify when you want it to happen. Therefore, we need both an event and a command. In this case, we made a command that unfolds a project template that we have already imported into the pattern and that we can use here. There are many types of command for all kinds of automation, and you can create your own command types as well. Note that the name of the project that we're going to create depends on the name of the project element, because we use its instance name, which is whatever the user typed in when it created the element, and we append .test to it. We also created an event to make sure this command is actually executed, and in this case we used an element instantiated event, so the command is executed when the element is instantiated. There are many types of event, and you can create custom event types as well if you want. For the code files we do something similar. We instantiate an item template in the command. Note however that we use another command to create the class tests element whenever we create a class element, because we want a unit test file to be created when we create an application code file. The command we use to accomplish this is of a custom type that we created ourselves, and the code for this type is shown here. As you can see, here we can programmatically use the pattern model to have full control over what gets created and how. And this concludes my overview of NuPattern. However, this was just an appetizer. Please take a look at the other videos on the site to go in more detail on how to build patterns. Thanks for watching.